To the Father-Son Sports Talk Show. I'm Tim Martin and my co-host.
I'm Tim Martin II.
The draft is 24 hours away, and we'd like to have a special show tonight. We'd like to talk about comparing some of last year's top picks to this year's top picks, and let's start out comparing Cam Newton to Sam Bradford.
Well, they both have their differences, but you can both list them as two very similar quarterbacks, considering they both have not great, but at least decent mobility. And Cam Newton and Sam Bradford both have a pretty good arm if Newton can just work on his accuracy.
I would definitely say that Cam Newton has great mobility. And I've heard a lot of draft gurus comparing him to Vince Young, saying he's a step above Vince Young coming out. Vince Young is a two-time Pro Bowl player, so Cam Newton must be headed on his way to some Pro Bowls in the NFL. Let's talk about Ndamukong Suh and Marcell Dareus out of Alabama.
Well, they're both great run presences. I'd like to see Marcell Dareus get a few more sacks throughout the games. And Ndamukong Suh is also a great pass rusher.
You know, Ndamukong Suh just really dominated the college level and taking over. And Marcell Dareus, at times he did dominate. And, you know, I've seen him run down Cam Newton and show some great athletic ability for a big man. Two players that I'd like to talk about next is Nick Fairley and Gerald McCoy.
Well, in my opinion, Gerald McCoy, even though he's only played one season, I wouldn't like to thrown this on him already, but I think Gerald McCoy might be a big bust in the NFL. But Nick Fairley has shown glimpses of Gerald McCoy with his athletic ability. He sort of reminds me more of Gerald McCoy.
You know, last year's big draft talk was, should you take Ndamukong Suh or should you take McCoy? Now this year the talk is, should you take Dareus or should you take Fairley? One team won last year and one team lost last year. And I think the Lions came out on top by taking Suh. I'd like to talk about Joe Haden compared to Prince Amukamara.
Prince Amukamara and Joe Haden are both very similar players who can bait the quarterback. They're smart players, they're very intelligent, and they can catch the football when they intercept it.
I'm still not sold on Joe Haden, even though he had, 6 or 7 turnovers. They brought him into the lineup very slow. He wasn't really a lockdown corner. There was questions about him being taken so high in my eyes last year. And I'm kind of feeling that same way with Prince this year. I'd like to talk about Eric Berry and Patrick Peterson.
Well, those are both big playmaking ability. Eric Berry's ability to intercept the ball. Patrick Peterson got that too. And they can both return punts at times. And, hey, Patrick Peterson's talking about being moved to safety already. You might want to wait on that.
Yeah, you're talking about two great playmakers. Patrick Peterson come into the league, can be a solid corner right away, can help you in the special teams game with a great punt returner, and Eric Berry had an amazing year this year. Definitely, in my eyes, the best rookie in the NFL this past year. Was just such a great playmaker.
Ndamukong Suh and Sam Bradford had a better rookie year. For Pete's sakes, Bradford took basically a talentless team except for Steven Jackson with no wide receivers to really throw to thanks to Donnie Avery's injury, and almost took them to the playoffs if they could have beaten the Seahawks late in the season. And then Ndamukong Suh was one of the best pass rushers and defensive stoppers in the NFL in his rookie season. Now, how many times does that happen in a century?
Well, some big decisions teams have to make.